are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I just have some questions about your recent injury and your experience seeking rehab for it. So, what exactly happened and when did it happen?
It was about a year ago. I was in a passenger seat with my friend driving. Got in a bad accident on a highway going out of town, and I tore both MCLs and ACL. Um, it was the most significant injury I've ever had, so I had no prior experience.
Okay, so how did you decide that rehab was something that was necessary? Did you have to get surgery when you were prescribed rehab, or were your injuries just so severe that you realized you needed rehab?
Yeah, so first went to a hospital, got surgery, and then once that was over, I realized that I wasn't back to the full strength that I was at before the injury, and that is when I realized that I needed extensive care, and I couldn't get that done at home, especially with both my parents working all the time. They didn't have the time to take care of me, so I figured I needed to seek out help from someone else.
So overall, did you feel like the rehab experience was a positive one and you felt like it was worth your time?
Yeah, a majority part of it was what I expected, and it worked out. It was effective. So I don't really have much that I regret from that experience. The staff at the nursing home, at the Alice nursing home, were great, and I always kind of felt at home.
Do you still require further therapy, or was it just the time that you were staying in the center?
It was just at the time when I was in the center. I didn't leave the center until I was fully healed. I just didn't want to risk anything,
Right.
and so I stayed there the whole time. And then once I left, I've had no setbacks. So it worked out.
Okay. So now I'm wondering a little bit how you went about choosing which care center facility you did choose. So which facility did you end up staying in?
It was the Alice Center in West Alice.
Okay.
They just go by Alice. And there's a few of them in West Alice. I am from Wauwatosa, which is really close to West Alice, and so that destination was one of the reasons I picked it, for it being so close, so that my parents can visit, family can come visit all the time. So location was, I would say, number one, because I realized that a lot of the places have same kind of care, same quality of care that they offer.
The location
Yeah.
really set it apart for you?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay. So were you totally in charge of choosing where you got to go?
At the time, no, I kind of left it up to my parents. I mean, I was still not in a clear state of mind. I was still shocked by what happened and all the things that I had to quit. Drop out of school and stop working and just not have everyday things going. So I just let my parents pick.
Okay, so why? So you let your parents pick because you were in an initial shock, and were you happy that they were in charge of it? Like, how did that go?
Was I happy about? I didn't really feel. I trusted that they would make the right decision, but I wasn't 100% sure that the place they picked would be a perfect fit. I knew they were considering or looking at the same decision making criteria, I guess.
Right. They knew what you wanted.
Yeah, they knew that.
Basing it off of
Yeah, they also wanted to be close, which I also did too. So
yeah.
we based it off of the same thing. So even if I didn't make the final decision, I knew that you would pick the right place.
Yeah. So even though you started in the state of mind where you knew it was better that they couldn't make the decision, you were still satisfied with the fact that they did in the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So what was most important to you in deciding the kind of rehab center? I know you said location, But like quality of care, you mentioned before, there's a lot of different facilities with the same quality of care. But was there anything else that factored in for you?
Yeah. At the time, not really. We did do some research online and looked at just like some nursing websites. I can't think of the websites right now, but we looked at their star ratings, and Alice had a pretty good one. Um, there was also a comment that I noticed from a previous person who got an injury and went to that nursing home. He was a little older than me, but he wasn't, like elderly. He wasn't over 85 or anything like that.
Right.
So I realized that if he's went through the same experience and he enjoyed the care that they gave him, I would also enjoy it. So online ratings.
Online ratings?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So would you say that cost was a big factor in where you were seeking therapy?
Yeah, I would say that although they all, most of the places that we considered had around the same price tag they charged, but it was still a factor, just not as big as location, their online presence, and online public reviews, and the quality of the nurses were definitely the top three. But price was up there, just not as high.
So I know that Alice hasn't done any sort of renovations since the 1960s.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Did that really affect how you viewed it, or were you more worried about quality of care like you were saying before?
Yeah, you can tell the building was pretty old, but from the interior, it's very hard to tell. It's clean. So even though it's not like one of the most modern places, I think they still kept it clean and presentable.
Okay. So were you significantly leaning towards any other center in particular, and then it was like a close call, or was it kind of just clear in the end that because of quality of care and location and price that Alice was the best choice for you?
Yeah. After I did decide whether to go there, it was never clear. Even for the first few weeks, I wasn't 100% sure if this was the right place.
Right.
So the other places I looked at, one was in Brookfield, and there was another one which is even closer in Tosa. But I didn't feel like, from going and visiting, I didn't feel like the nurses were as interactive and like engaged with the residents there.
Right.
So. So even if the Tulsa one was really closer, I didn't feel like the quality was there.
Okay.
But it took me a while to accept that the decision that my parents made was the right one. But after about 3-4 months, it worked out.
Did you think that maybe at first you were a little hesitant if they made the right decision because it was like a nursing home with mostly elderly people?
Yeah, that played a huge factor. When I first got there, obviously I didn't know anyone there. There was barely, I'm trying to think right now, I don't think there was anyone around my age group at the time. They were all, really old. So yeah, that definitely like put a question in my head. I kind of talked to my parents and to see if we can relocate, but they told me to just hang on for a little bit and that my recovery was going well. And I could sense it. My legs were getting stronger. So I just decided to stick with it.
Yeah.
And I think I made the right choice.
Okay. So overall, would you say that your expectations were fulfilled for rehab in general?
I would say almost every part of it. was exactly what I expected. Yeah, and there was nothing that really fell short of what I expected. If anything, the care and that the nurses had for their residents was higher than what I expected.
Okay.
So it was definitely a positive.
Okay. So before your accident, what were your overall perceptions and attitudes of nursing homes as a place for a 23-year-old to get required therapy?
I felt that I had no place there, really.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to stay in a hospital until I was fully recovered, but that's not really an option.
Right.
After surgery and after, like a month or so of just healing, they kind of want you to just go out there and either get therapy at home or nursing home, which was another option.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it was clear to you that a nursing home was the best option,
Yeah.
regardless if you felt that you were too young.
Yeah, I did. The age just definitely made it a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
If there was really a center where things were divided by age, then I would have definitely that would have made it easier.
That would have factored in your decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if there was a nursing home, maybe without the word nursing,
yeah,
that could have factored into your decision as well. Like maybe you would have chosen that even if it had a higher cost, or if the quality of care may have been a little bit worse. Do you think you still would have chosen that type of facility?
I would have definitely chosen that. If I knew there was a nursing home with people from 18 to 27, where it's not people, it's not elderly people with serious illness, but it's mostly younger kids who suffered serious injuries, I would have definitely picked that up. And I think my parents would have allowed me, or I would have had a bigger part of the decision-making process, but at the time that wasn't really an option. So that's why I left it to my parents.
Yeah.
And if that was the case, I'm sure my parents would be willing to drive even farther. I would say, just even way farther than West Dallas to find a care center.
Because an age difference maybe would have had a different focus on athleticism, or maybe a staff that was maybe a little bit younger, or more trained to work with younger people. Do you think that's?
I would say, definitely the trained to work with younger kids, because if they're just used to having to take care of the elderly, they might not be able to relate to us as much.
Right, and that's frustrating.
Yeah, that is. And then the activities in there too. Young kids don't really want to play bingo.
Right.
So it would have been a little more fun and entertaining, I guess.
Okay.
With the same amount of care.
Because you had to be there for an extensive amount of time. It would have made sense for your emotional well-being as well to be somewhere that matched your emotional needs, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. And do you think after your accident that changed a little bit? Maybe are you thinking that nursing homes, regardless of age, separation is still a good idea? Were you still glad that you did that, and you would recommend it to someone in your position in the future?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I'm not saying that the transition would be easy. It will take a little bit of time, but once you get used to the everyday activities and you start seeing the results, you will definitely appreciate it. And you won't. I don't think anyone would be hesitant to recommend it to a different person.
Are you surprised that maybe you did end up thinking it was a good idea? Where you maybe, I know you said you were hesitant and then you ended up appreciating it. Are you surprised about that, or you think you were expecting to appreciate it?
I think going into it, I thought that I was going to be hesitant enough to where I would have to relocate. So I was surprised when I started appreciating I enjoyed my time there, but the right word isn't coming to mind right now.
But realizing that the care was necessary, maybe?
Yeah, yeah. I knew it was something I had to go through, and there was no better place.
Yeah. So, if you had to create the perfect rehab center for you, how would you describe that after the fact?
Okay, yeah. So for me, I would say that I think the age is definitely important, and having a place where you separate um, people that are in nursing homes because of their age and people that are there because of some serious injury. Um, I think if I was grouped in a home with a bunch of people um, my age who suffered injury, that would be the ultimate choice with the same care that I got. So with the facility being, I would appreciate a facility that was a little more modern,
Right.
but the cleanness and the cleanness is more important than
Right.
Looking nice on the outside.
Yeah.
So the quality, I think I would keep the same if I had to choose, but just have a place where you can find people that you can relate to.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, no problem.